the Jewish population of St. Louis is only 2%. So many kids in the St. Louis area had never met a Jewish person. And when you don't know someone, ignorance breeds bigotry. So Batya Abramson-Goldstein was the associate director of the JCRC, and she was getting requests from schools to come and talk about Judaism.
I did notice that when I was introduced, I think there was a kind of a sense that the students were, oh, there goes another adult. It's not that I was insulted, I was an adult, but I wanted to find a more effective way of reaching this vital community.
It was her idea, it was brilliant to have peers talking to their own peers, and it worked.
We began with 3 students, and it's a program which thankfully has grown and grown.
So the kids are recruited during the spring and summer, and then in the fall, they attend an orientation meeting, and they get to hear about the logistics of the program, how it works. They get to see a mock presentation, and probably the most important part is they have a session on challenging questions.
Our students do a remarkable job of setting a very safe atmosphere, encouraging questions. They get questions such as, do you believe that Jesus is the Messiah? If you don't believe that Jesus is the Messiah, aren't you going to hell? Would you marry someone who is not Jewish?
We want the kids in the class to see that there's no statement, all Jews are, ...
I got involved in student to student because I had 3 teenagers who participated in the program, all enjoyed it. One of them was so moved about it that she used her experience as the basis for her college essay, and she did get into college. I just could see how important it was. The kids in the audience, the non-Jewish children, get so much out of it, and I really wanted to be part of that. It really has been effective, what I have observed, to see the Jewish students go in together, talk to kids that don't really know anything about Jews and might have some negative opinions, but when they come out, they see these kids are pretty similar to them in many ways.
Every time I come out of a student-to-student presentation, I am so inspired. I'm so impressed by our Jewish teens. They are so articulate and so proud of being Jewish. And generally at the end of every presentation, I meet with the students, we discuss what went well and what room there is for improvement.
Nonprofits could not exist without the help of lay leaders who are devoted and committed. Jean and Judy are such great examples of that. They were so committed to what we were doing. They saw the impact that our kids had on the kids in the classroom.
Being able to talk about how proud you are to be a Jew, being able to explain our traditions, and being able to answer those very difficult questions. I think that student to student has a profound impact on our Jewish students.
I had one teacher who pulled me aside afterwards, a woman from a parochial school, and said, I wish my students could talk about their religion and share their pride for their religion like your students do.
I started teaching in Afton in 2000, and I don't remember not doing the student-to-student program.
He was teaching a class called Different Voices, and the class was exploring all kinds of different groups in America. And it made so much sense for us to be in front of his students, and they loved it, and our kids loved talking to his kids.
The presentations themselves, were a lot of the reason I think that students were drawn to the class, because it wasn't simply read a book or take notes or lecture. It was really real-world learning. Feedback after JCRC students present is they want to know more, which to me, again, is always a sign of this is a good learning experience. An important part of the student-to-student presentation has always been fighting anti-Semitism. In anti-Semitism, we know it flowers in darkness. It flowers in ignorance. One of the things that I think is great about the student-to-student program is that when the students are in the room with each other, they're facing a real human being. There is a shared experience of being 16. There's a shared experience of being 17. I can't share that experience with my students because my 17 was a very different time and world.
I started working with Batya in 1999. She soon after that became the executive director. And then I took over student to student. And almost from the beginning, it was such a great program. I thought it should be everywhere, not just in St. Louis. So in 2017, Rory Picker-Niece became the executive director. And she asked everybody what they wanted to do with their position. And I said, well, it would be great if we could expand to other cities. And so she said, okay, let's try. And we started with 3 other cities. And then slowly we began to grow. And eventually Rory and the board of the JCRC said, this is really beyond our scope. So that's when the program spun out. I'm so appreciative of Batya for having this idea. Look where it's taken us. Now we're in 45 communities around North America. It was just a wonderful idea, and then she actually followed through with it. The news is never so great these days, and this is something so positive, and you feel the connections that are being made. And as human beings, it's all about connection. And I think for the volunteers, it gives them hope. I know it does for me.